Hey folks, Stan Bird. It's the midday report for Wednesday. Today is Google and Tesla after the close, so they could move the market. We'll see what happens. Let's take a look at everything. As always, I am not a financial advisor, so this is for educational purposes only. Let's look at the 10-minute chart and see what the market's doing as they wait for those big tech earnings to come out. So right here on the website, on the left-hand column, here's what today gapped up, pulled back a little bit, and then now starting to move higher. So still very bullish. Everything looks extremely bullish still for the market. My labels are gone for some reason, but this is technologies moving down, financials moving sideways. This is discretionary, which is basically the home builders, which is keeping that up. This is all mostly home builders through here. Communications services is flat, and industrials look really good. Actually, industrials look like the sector that's carrying things today. If you look at the defensive area, we've got healthcare perking up, staples moving down, energy flat, utilities moving down, and materials moving down. So still very bullish. I don't really see the market rotating into those defensive areas too much. We'll see what happens after tonight. Here's growth versus value. Moved down in the morning. Now it's coming back up along with the market. Discretionary, again, home builders is running that. This technology is weak today. Semiconductors is the key industry group in the technology sector. That's weak today as well. And internet is down slightly. So again, not too concerning, but doesn't look like a big rotation, which is good. But technology certainly, growth versus value and technology certainly are starting to head lower. So we'll see what happens tonight after those earnings when they come in. One question that was asked by somebody is whether I would do let's see, here it is, paper trade worksheet again, which I had done a while ago. That's why the daily scan was created, actually. And I've actually created a scan for that. I don't want to start it until probably after earnings season is over, because there's just too many binary events that'll happen during earnings season. But here's basically what it is. It's the momentum watch list, the top 10 watch lists, the IBD 50, the stock twits top 25, the top 10, all combined, all the ones that had previously been in the top 10 that were previously removed, and the top 3 in each sector. These are added to every week. And then, of course, the Magnificent Seven. I want volume over 100,000. This is a pretty extensive scan, as you'll see. And then I'm only including growth areas. So technology and industrial sectors, internet, mobile telecommunications. These are all some of the discretionary components, not all discretionary, but some of them. Here's some financials, not all of them, and then a couple of healthcare ones. Here's some gold, and then conventional electricity is the only one from utilities. And then I want to close that's under 50. So these are stocks that are less than 50. So this is meant for smaller accounts if you want to try to grow your account. Technical ranking is more than 50. So it's in the upper 50% technically over the last couple of months. Elder bar, so this is the momentum bar is green today, and yesterday was not green. So it was red or blue yesterday. That means it's moving up. It's above the 21. Yesterday it was below the 21, so it's just crossing above the 21. And the EMA 21 EMA is greater than yesterday, so that means the 21 EMA is moving higher. I want a close that's above the open. So I don't want something that starts off in the morning going up and then pulls all the way back below the open. And I want the close to be within 5% of the high. So that will prevent us from getting shooting star candles. So that's pretty much what it is. And then finally, I want stocks that are outperforming over the last quarter, 65 days over the last quarter, outperforming their industry group by more than 10%, and outperforming the S&P by more than 7%. So that's what that scan is made up of. There's almost 1,000 stocks in these groups up here. And let me run it real quick. I'll show you what it would produce today. Only 4 stocks. So these are the 4 that it would produce today. And then what I will do is I will pick 1 or 2 of these and I'll add them to the paper trading worksheet. I'll set a stop, follow them along, and exit with a gain, hopefully, or a small loss. And we'll just continue to do that. We'll just use the paper trade worksheet to track our trades, and it'll be based on this specific scan. So we're not going to basically put multiple scans in. So this is the one we're going to use. So I'm going to do this probably in about, probably sometime in mid-August. It's not the best time for the market, but we'll see how it does anyway. But I want to wait till after earnings to start to run that. All right, let's look at the daily scan. Here's Micron, which is where I usually start. Micron selling off again today. Today, actually, it's kind of not doing anything. It's sitting right pretty much where it opened, but it's been heading down. It's below the 21. It's now below the 50. So it is looks like a pretty bearish chart right now. It's getting close to the extreme lower level, though. So we'll see what happens when it gets there. All right, let's start with the IBD 50. Actually, it's more than just 50. It's about 60 stocks. ARQT, DoorDash. DoorDash is in there. It's got 4 green bars right now with DoorDash, and it's got a squeeze. The only thing I would like to see is for the squeeze histogram to start to move higher. The histogram over here on the MACD is starting to move higher. So that might be an interesting one. And Doximity was on the list yesterday as well. It's starting to move up right now. If we look at the Magnificent Seven bearish side, the IBD bearish side, nothing there. So let's now look at the large cap tech stocks, CRM. These are all the bullish ones. HIMS is starting to move up. Big, huge move on HIMS today. So it's almost closing this gap over here. So HIMS is starting to track to get back to where it was before. IBM, after a sell-off yesterday, IBM's trying to move back up. It's got earnings, though, today after the close. So be careful of that. Let's see if HIMS is on here. CRM, earnings, don't see those. Intuit is on here. That one's moving up. Lilly had a really nice run yesterday and continuing that run today, now above the 21. So Lilly's looking pretty bullish, and it's got a long squeeze on it too. So this actually really might be a jumping, a launch point for Lilly. Meta, I think, has earnings next week. Not really too much movement there, and AT&T is on the list as well. They had earnings today, sold off at earnings and came all the way back. So that's pretty interesting. If you thought AT&T was a strong stock and got in on this big sell-off from earnings down here at 26, it's back to 27.50 right now. All right, let's look at the bearish side of the large caps and see what we get there. Just one, quantum stock, not looking too good. And finally, let's look at the optionable bullish stocks. These all have weekly options, some of the same ones. Devon Energy now is on here. Marvell. So there's a semiconductor stock. Semiconductors actually today have not been doing great. Novo Nordisk is on here now. It had a really nice gap up. So Novo Nordisk, just like Lilly. So both of these in the same space are starting to move higher. Palo Alto, Peloton's on here. What else? Atlassian moving up, and Visa as well. And then finally, we'll look at those optionable weekly options on the bearish side. Intuitive Surgical, big gap down after earnings at the close yesterday, after the close. So looks like they missed earnings, big, huge gap down there. Lam Research starting to move lower below the 21. Mara heading down, MicroStrategy. So these are both Bitcoin stocks. So we'll look at the Bitcoin in a second. Semiconductor right here, right at the 21. Texas Instrument reported right here. They reported yesterday. Looks like they missed. big, huge sell-off today below everything, below the 21, below the 50, sitting right on the 200 right now, almost exactly on the 200. Uber selling off today too. And then oil's heading down. All right, let's final thing. I'll show you actually a couple of things I want to show before I get to the actual stocks. One is the sectors. You can see industrials, healthcare, energy, materials. Those are all mostly defensive sectors. Discretionary and technology are right in the middle, and communication service. All the aggressive ones are right smack in the middle. And then we have the most defensives at the bottom. So it's a real mixture of sectors today. We'll see what happens tomorrow with the earnings. Netflix is continuing to sell off. These are the bottom ones. Netflix is still selling off. HIMS, the second best one in my top 10 list. And GE Vernova, I think might have reported today. VST is making a move. I think they reported today as well. So they're moving up. All right. I want to look at a couple of other things real quick. One is Open that I looked at yesterday. Let's see how that's doing. I said it was a highly manipulated stock, and sure enough, it's selling off again, down 23% today after a big, huge sell-off the day before. And basically where I said you probably should get out. So that one is true to form with manipulated stocks like this. Whoever was pumping it to get retail investors to buy it, and all these gaps up day after day, gapping up, and then they sold out at the top, and probably the next day too. So now it's all the retail investors that were getting in late that are saying, oh crap, I better get out. And they're getting out, and that I think might just continue to fall like that. The other one is one that someone asked me about last week, which is SG. SG is really making a move now. So SG had continually hit the 50 up here, was rejected, 21 rejected, 21 rejected, hit the 50 again, rejected, and then right down here you see all of the moving averages are all converging at the same place. So on my scan, it would have hit right there. So that's 4 days ago, and now it is just taking off. It's starting to move higher. So that looks pretty good. If we look at this, I actually have one of my favorites is this last one here. These are all the moving averages. In this particular case, you can see they're all of the slowest one up here is the 200-day. The highlighted ones are the 50, the 21, the 10, and the 5. But you can see it moves up the slower ones. You want this really to be reversed. You want it to be the opposite for a strong stock. But right now, the faster ones are starting to move higher. You'd like to see these start to cross over each other and then move much higher. If we look at this, let's look at it on a 3-year basis. So here's where it was up here. Let's go back 2 years. Probably will look better. So here's where they were all stacked to the positive. That's the way you like to see them. And then right here, they started crossing over, starting being stacked to the negative side, which is what they've been for quite a while, ever since the beginning of this year. They were stacked negative, and now they might be starting to cross back over again to become stacked positive again. So that's something to watch out for. It looks like it's trying to make a comeback. It's going to have a lot of overhead resistance. All these people up here that bought, that got trapped, all want to get out. So there's a lot of resistance that's going to have to get through. Probably somewhere around 18 will be an area where it'll hit resistance again. But for the person that asked about this, it looks like it is paying off. I don't know if you got back in or not, but it's starting to move higher now. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see what happens tonight. Tomorrow, I'll report on the results of Tesla and Google. If we look at those right now, let's look at them with a relative basis. So first, we'll look at Tesla. And this is a 1 year. This goes back a year now. So 1 year relative basis, Tesla is outperforming its peers. It's above 0%, but it's trending down. Same thing with the S&P. It's outperforming the S&P by 17%, but trending down. So that shows weakness. Google, on the other hand, is underperforming its peers. So Google and the S&P. So Google and trending down. So Google looks at much weaker actually than Tesla. So we'll see how they report tonight, although the accumulation distribution on Google looks really good. On Tesla, it's actually trending down on Tesla. So it's going to be interesting to see how both of these report tonight. We'll see. I'll report on it tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Let me know if there's anything you want me to check into. Be happy to do that. And I will talk to you later.